Thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com, home of technical analysis education in both the stock market and cryptocurrency worlds. See the links in the description of this video for more information on our two courses, entries and exits on the fundamentals of technical analysis, as well as our new course on trading cryptocurrency strategy. Purchase both and receive a 20% off bundle discount. Thanks for checking us out. Let's get on to the technical analysis. Hey everyone, going to be checking in on the big three here before passing out for the night. No thumbnail, no animals, just going to get the information out there while I'm still conscious. So here on Bitcoin, we have a bearish reversal doji. This candlestick started forming 3 hours ago for the new day. So this doesn't mean sell. For me, when I see a bearish reversal doji on the daily time frame, that tells me zoom in and look at the details. So I zoom into the 4-hour time frame and I say, okay, this is still a very clear uptrend on the 4-hour time frame. We just pulled back, saw healthy consolidation after a breakout. We formed a higher low at 43.54. That is our new support level that the bulls need to hold to remain in full control. If we break this level, we then lose the 4-hour higher low time frame, higher low pattern, and we will then be looking for the daily chart to confirm its bearish reversal candlestick, and that will indicate further consolidation and profit taking is coming. But as of right now, there's no red flags. This is a healthy uptrend, and we have to take into account that, who says that the day ends at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is just, when the candlestick rolls over, when in reality, this is why I care about the details, because I see that there are no red flags until we break this support. So where we are bouncing right now, we're heading back to our recent high of 44.70. That's the clear resistance. So we have our channel to be watching. If we break 44.70, we hit higher highs and obviously see strength and follow through. If we are unable to break 44.70, we set a lower high and then pull back and break 43.54, then we have a lower high and a lower low. And again, that would indicate the daily candlestick being confirmed for the bearish reversal and more prolonged consolidation following through. So which is going to happen? Where we stand right now, I don't know. And that is where technical analysis, again, a lot of people who are newer to technical analysis or unfamiliar with it think that we're trying to predict what's going to happen. I am not trying to predict what's going to happen. I'm going to react to what is happening. And I'm going to be watching. Right now, we're in the middle of this range. We're not near this clear support or resistance. So I zoom in for some more details and say, okay, we have a clear break of the lower high pattern on the hourly time frame for the bulls. And now the bulls are going to try and shift to higher lows and higher highs with this hourly bull MACD cross. So the bulls have enough momentum right now to be in a bullish position. You just have to be looking to protect your profit if this support level were to break. So right now on the 15-minute time frame, healthy consolidation following the break of the lower high pattern. We haven't started forming higher lows just yet. We did form one higher low before resistance broke, but we haven't really formed a higher low since then. So right now I'm watching 44.09, testing that support, and if that breaks, we know we have to pull back and form a higher low on the 15-minute compared to 43.75. So again, at this point, if you're watching these videos, you've gotten very familiar with the routine. Start with the daily or start with the weekly, depending on how longer term you're looking, and then just zoom in, and you get more and more details and more levels to be watching in terms of the overall picture. So I know now the daily bearish reversal candlestick is worth watching, but it is not enough to sell as long as the 4-hour time frame is continuing to form its higher lows and higher highs. So that's what we're going to be watching for Bitcoin overnight as to whether or not we can see continuation or not. And Ethereum, looking at Ethereum on the daily time frame, both Ethereum and Litecoin are still weaker. And I've been watching, we've all been looking in the chat room at the correlations here where we look at ETH, BTC. And when you look at these kind of charts, it tells you how is ETH compared to BTC. And look at this 4-hour time frame. This tells us that Bitcoin has been stronger than Ethereum for a significant amount of time, over a week at this point. And we are oversold. So when we see these oversold conditions, it's never enough to make me want to enter a trade. I'm not going to say, oh, ETH is due to see a bit more strength than Bitcoin because we're oversold, so I'm going to get in. This is what would help me determine which name, if I'm looking at Ethereum and Litecoin and seeing, similar oversold conditions on the hourly time frame, let's say, I could potentially look at this chart and see who has been more beat up compared to the other and who would be likely to see some recovery. So LTC compared to BTC on Coinbase, the 4-hour RSI is now right under 20. This is the lowest 4-hour RSI that we've seen in a very long time, since back here in August, mid-August. So 6 weeks now that we have not seen this much of an oversold reaction, and this tells me that we are likely to see a bit more relative strength on LTC compared to Bitcoin sometime in the near future. Again, this chart alone would not have me enter Litecoin bullish, because if we dump on Bitcoin and we don't dump as significantly on Litecoin, this chart's going to bounce and go up because it's going to show relative strength more significant on Litecoin compared to Bitcoin. So that's not enough. Again, this is just a detail that I'm looking at. It is never something that I'm going to base my trade entry off of. It will always be based on the underlying coin, like Litecoin being a good setup. And this is just a detail that I will note in terms of looking for a bit more relative strength on Litecoin compared to Bitcoin sometime in the next day or two, when we can see a bullish reversal candlestick confirmed on this 4-hour time frame. So Ethereum, we can see why we've been weaker. The daily time frame is a lower high, higher low, very tight pattern, whereas Bitcoin on that daily time frame got a clear higher high. So right now resistance is 304.69 and support is down at 293.73 and 278. So the daily time frame is very tight. We look at the 4-hour time frame and see that, where we have our high, our low, lower high, higher low, lower high, and we did make a bear break here by hitting a lower low. Certainly didn't see a lot of follow through with the bulls are buying this dip and seeing a bit of a bounce attempt, but the fact that we did break this low of 295.75 would have me more cautious as a bull on Ethereum, because this 4-hour time frame is nowhere near as certain for the bulls as Bitcoin is, that we just saw with that clear stair step higher pattern of higher lows and higher highs. The fact that we did form a little lower high and lower low here is definitely worth noting, and Ethereum is the weakest in my opinion of the three, with where we stand with the trading over the past 2 days, and I'm personally not looking to play Ethereum because of that. The hourly time frame, we can see we shifted from lower highs and lower lows. We broke the lower high pattern. The bulls are trying to shift this trend back in favor of the bulls, but they have a lot of work to do right now. We're not seeing a ton of bull volume, and we are just looking at this point to keep establishing higher lows, and to do so, we have to hold 295.33. But again, it's not a significant convincing bounce at this point. Litecoin is similar. Look at how tight we are here. Equilibrium pattern with our high of this move. Higher low, lower high, straight across trading, very low volume. The low volume is standing out. The 4-hour time frame, similar to Ethereum, high, low, lower high, higher low, lower high, bear break, and the bulls have to shift momentum, which they are struggling to do right now, and we actually have a potential little bear flag on the 4-hour time frame. So both Ethereum and Litecoin are much weaker than Bitcoin. Bitcoin already broke this high back here, which for Litecoin is at 57.45, and for Ethereum, that 4-hour resistance is all the way up at 312.75. So the Bitcoin bulls much stronger on the break to see the higher high on the bounce compared to these two names. So Litecoin on the hourly time frame, trying to see a higher low, higher high pattern, have to break 56 or make that 53.59 and 53.55. A little bit of a double top in that area, and the bulls need to continue their higher lows. I'm watching it on the 15-minute time frame. Key support 53.11 and then 53 even. And again, the bulls have to break 53.59 for continuation to try and see this bounce play out. It's a weak bounce at this point. The bull volume is not there. The hourly bounce is not seeing much conviction. In the 4-hour time frame, a potential bear flag without much follow through. So at this point, we will anticipate that Ethereum and Litecoin will see bullish action if Bitcoin continues to higher highs, which is still possible with the setup on the 4-hour time frame. But at this point, we're not seeing the strength relative to Bitcoin. Pretty much, essentially, the past 3 days you want to be in Bitcoin because it has been seeing the most significant moves. I did make an entry on Litecoin here on this dump, and it was because I did factor in that chart that we just looked at for Litecoin to compare to Bitcoin, anticipating a bit of an oversold bounce relative to the strength comparative to each other. So I did make an entry here on Litecoin, sold a partial position for profit on the way up, and I entered with my average at about in the 52.90s and scaled my way in on this dump. Volume climax, bullish reversal candlestick on the hourly, and the hourly RSI had just dipped below 30 while we were down in the upper $52 range. Those were all reasons for my entry, and in terms of follow through, Not a ton of it at this point. I have exited a decent amount of my position due to the little double top that we had and the bearish action we're seeing right now. So just want to make sure that I end up with a profit and exit maybe partial position break even if we don't see any further follow through from here. But just a short-term gain, nothing crazy, but enough to keep that profit coming in. And where the scenario that we're in right now, either the Bitcoin bulls are entering on consolidation and looking for higher highs, or the Ethereum and the Litecoin bulls are looking for oversold bounces because we are weaker. You see the hourly RSI for Litecoin dipped just under 30. The hourly RSI for Ethereum dipped just under 30 when we were at the low of these candlesticks. And look at the Bitcoin hourly RSI from where we stand, and nowhere near oversold. So that just right there is the perfect example of how the bulls are stronger on Bitcoin comparatively. And those charts in comparison certainly tell us that as well. So I hope you have a good night. We'll check back in tomorrow. We'll be back with thumbnails and animals and all the fun bells and whistles. Have a great night. We'll see you then.